polls have closed now in 2 states, in Indiana and Kentucky. And at 7 o'clock at this hour, we've got a rush of votes closing in some important states. There they are all together. We've got 66 electoral votes. We're looking for a total of 270 for a win tonight. Florida, Georgia, New Hampshire, South Carolina, Vermont, and Virginia. So that's what's closing at this time. We want to show you the national map now so that we can show you what's going on. We'll be coloring tonight the states that Bush wins in blue. Clinton will be in red, and Ross Perot will have that kind of neutral color for you. We do have some projections that we can call at this hour. Let's begin, and it's good news now for Bill Clinton. He is the projected winner in the state of Georgia with 13 electoral votes. It last went for a Democrat in 1980. Favorite son, Jimmy Carter, of course. That's a very big win for Bill Clinton in the state of Georgia, 13 electoral votes. In New Hampshire, he said, if you give me a chance in this election, I'll be with you till the last dog dies. The dog has not yet died, and neither has Bill Clinton. He wins tonight in New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes. An important win in New England. That's a staunch Republican part of the country. Vermont, same thing, right next door in New England. A very good sign for Bill Clinton. So on our map now, we'll begin to color in the maps, the states that Bill Clinton has won. Red in Georgia, also up there, the tiny states, but important to him, of New Hampshire first, and then Vermont. It was in New Hampshire that he survived. Now, first returns that we're getting, that's very heartening news for Bill Clinton. Dan Quayle is breathing a lot easier at this hour. We're now able to project that the state of Indiana, which is Dan Quayle's home state, of course, won by President Bush tonight, 12 electoral votes. That is rock rib Republican territory out there. Last voted in 1964, and it was a long time before that they voted Republican. It was in 1964 for Lyndon Johnson. So the state of Indiana now goes blue for President Bush. As you can see, Georgia, Vermont, and New Hampshire are already colored in for Bill Clinton. What does that mean in terms of electoral votes? 20-12 at this hour. There is the possibility that Ross Perot could win an electoral vote without winning a state, but good evening once again. It is now 7:30 in the East, and we've had polls close in states that represent 126 electoral votes. A reminder that 270 are required. Polls now closing in North Carolina, Ohio, and West Virginia. Those top 2 states, especially pivotal in this election. We'll be watching them carefully. We are still not able to make a call in the state of Florida, for example. President Bush is counting on that heavily. The state of Kentucky, which will be hotly contested during the course of this race. We want to show you what we have at this hour, however, because we have been able to make some calls around the country. We color the states in red for Bill Clinton and blue for George Bush, and up there in the corner, those should be red, Vermont and New Hampshire. We had called them earlier. There's the paintbrush. It finally came through. We've got the little person in the back, and they're doing the best that they can. They don't always get to color them as quickly as we'd like them to from time to time. What does that mean in terms of the electoral? Well, we can now project another state for Bill Clinton, West Virginia. This is solid Democratic territory. Bill Clinton would have been expected to win West Virginia. In 2 out of the 3 last elections, it has gone Democratic. Projections for Bill Clinton, all good news for him. 23 electoral votes in Pennsylvania. In Illinois, 22 electoral votes. The battleground state of Michigan, which has gone Republican the last 3 times, 18 electoral votes. In New Jersey, 15 electoral votes. Bill Clinton, the winner there. In Massachusetts, which has been safely for the Democrats in recent elections, that goes to Bill Clinton's column. Missouri, 10. Maryland, 11. Connecticut, 8. Now, Connecticut is the ancestral home of the George Bush family, obviously. And Bill Clinton is our projected winner in Connecticut tonight as well. And this will not go over well with the Bush family. They, of course, have their summer home at Walker's Point in Maine. We are projecting that Maine is the winner for Bill Clinton. Now, one of those electoral votes could go to Ross Perot, because in Maine and Nebraska, they divide their electoral votes by the congressional districts, and there's a possibility that Ross Perot could pick off one of those electoral votes, but then, after all, he spent $60 million. He ought to get something for it. In the District of Columbia, which has been safely Democratic as well, 3 electoral votes to Bill Clinton. What does that mean now on our national map? We want to show you as we begin to is bleeding, in a matter of speaking. Now, Kentucky politicians used to be fond of saying that their state was the home of fast horses, fine bourbon, and beautiful women, and then they decided that was no longer politically correct. We can tell you at this hour that Kentucky is the home of Bill Clinton and 8 electoral votes that go into his column. This is a big, big win for Bill Clinton. That was one of those battleground middle border states. He goes into the Clinton column after having voted with the Republicans the last 3 times. And as you can see, we color in the state of Kentucky. Only Indiana so far tonight for George Bush. It was a state that they both contested very strongly. Tim Russert, some thoughts? Here's some good news for President Bush now. We're able to project the state of South Carolina. It's 8 electoral votes for George Bush. So on our big national map at this hour, we'll give Bush a second state that we can color in blue. Down a projection in Arkansas based on our interviews and the analysis of those interviews with voters as they left the polls today. Bill Clinton, hometown guy, 5 times elected governor of that state, grew up there, became a Rhodes Scholar, Boys Nation, did all the right things in the eyes of most Arkansas voters, and today they gave him their votes as he ran for president of the United States, the first man from that state to do so. What does that mean in terms of electoral votes now? This is the important number, of course, 164 for Bill Clinton, 270 required. George Bush with only South Carolina and Indiana on his asset side, as Ross Perot might say. Texas, Florida, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia representing 105 electoral votes. All the polls have closed in those states, but they are still too close to call. John, we have a projection. Good news for the president. He was able to hang on to the state of Oklahoma in the Southwest. NBC now is able to project the state of Oklahoma with its 8 electoral votes. That goes into the Bush column. We want to tell you what that means on our map. First of all, blue. If we begin to move into stronger Bush territory, he could take heart in all of that. He gets up to 28 electoral votes at this hour, with Bill Clinton at 164. And the national vote, we're now up to 8%. And George Bush continues to hold a 1-point lead over Bill Clinton. No surprise here, NBC News now projecting the state of Tennessee. The winner there, Bill Clinton. It is the home state of his running mate, Al Gore, a senator from that state. They were called the Yuppie ticket, the double Bubba ticket, which didn't quite fit. Somehow they strike me more at the student body president of football. A good chunk of those states to stay competitive tonight. And the fact of the matter is, he is not getting them. We're now prepared to make more projections for Bill Clinton that will take him close to the 270 marker. He is the projected winner in New York. No surprise there. 33 electoral votes. That's one of Clinton's most important states. It stayed rock solid for him. Minnesota has been in the Democratic column. 10 electoral votes there. Bill Clinton is the winner there as well. It voted for Michael Dukakis last time around. Here's a winner in the Rocky Mountain states. Colorado, 8 electoral votes. Perot was a big factor, taking away from George Bush. And now let's go to New Mexico. 5 electoral votes in New Mexico. Last voted Democratic in 1964. It had gone with the winner every time but once since becoming a state 80 years ago. It went with Gerald Ford in 1976. Rhode Island, only 4 electoral votes. They all go to Bill Clinton at this hour. And the state of Delaware, which has been another one of those bellwether states, voting with the winner every time since 1952. Tonight it believes that the winner will be Bill Clinton. It has given him 3 electoral votes. So as we show you on the map now in your state by adding up the senators and the representatives, we do want to remind you again that the polls are open, especially in the Pacific time zone in many of the mountain states, and you should exercise your right to vote. Bill Clinton now is the winner in another state that has been solidly Democratic in recent years, and that's the state of Iowa. Iowa has dropped in unemployment in recent years, but Bill Clinton gets the 7 electoral votes from the state of Iowa. George Bush now picks up a couple of states out west that he had counted on to be safe states. They turned out to be that indeed. 5 electoral votes from Utah. And also next door be that indeed. 5 electoral votes from Utah, and also next door from the state of Idaho. 4 electoral votes there for George Bush. So we'll color in those states for you now. Let's go to, we've got Iowa in there. 16-17 range. It may a call that will bring some solace to George Bush. The state of Alabama, 9 electoral votes. Should have been a safe state for him. He had to wait for much of the evening to get it colored blue in our electoral map. So Alabama in the deep south goes for George Bush. Last went Democratic for Jimmy Carter in 1976. That means that George Bush is now up to 264, as you can see, electoral votes. Bill Clinton is 5 electoral votes away from winning. Bill Clinton, the 2 Dakotas could do that, form a combination of Montana, and then, of course, we still have California to come in with its big 54 electoral votes. So he's home free. 40% of the vote has been counted so far. Bill Clinton now with a 5-point lead. Ross Perot with 17 points and a lot more to say. 46 years of age, the man from Hope, Arkansas, the new president of the United States. Bill Clinton, the projected winner tonight in Ohio with its 21 electoral votes. That puts him comfortably over the top. California yet to come. He'll go well past the 270 required. Bill Clinton, who a year ago at this time was a little-known governor, 5 terms in that state. A lot of people believed a number of occasions that he was out of this race. He stayed in, and he has defeated George Bush. Moreover, he has broken a Republican hold on the White House that has gone on for 12 years now, going all the way back to the President of the United States, according to our projection. So let us show you what is going on now in California. 54 electoral votes. We anticipated that from the outset. Bill Clinton, the winner in California. Washington, 11 electoral votes up in the Pacific Northwest. They counted that as the cornerstone of the new Democratic Party. Also in Oregon, 7 electoral votes. Bill Clinton, the winner there. Hawaii, safe Democratic territory, 4 electoral votes for Bill Clinton. We color those in now. Midwest, the state of Kansas for George Bush with its 6 electoral votes. It's voted Democratic in 64 and 32. It's always been a Republican state in years after that. So we'll put Kansas in blue for the president's got a little run column now. The state of Mississippi with its 7 electoral votes took a lot longer for us to call that than we anticipated. Big relief to Clark Reed, who is the Bush chairman in that state. And in North Dakota as well, 3 electoral votes will go to George Bush. So let's take a look now at our map that the Perot. We want to call another state for George Bush. He'll be happy to hear this. This is the adopted state of Jim Baker in a way. He's got a fishing camp out there, a place that he likes to go to. He may even retire there. In the state of Wyoming, George Bush goes into his column. That's the home state of Dick Cheney as well, and Alan Simpson. And those are our 3 unapologetic Republicans that approach the 2/3 mark now. A 5-point lead for Bill Clinton. Ross Perot continues to hold at 18 points. It'll take. Bill Clinton is the new president of the United States, but George Bush retains his dignity in his adopted home state of Texas. NBC News now projects that Texas, it is 32 electoral votes, will go into George Bush's column. He's in Houston tonight. He has said in the past that he would retire there. Also in the state of South Dakota, which has been strong Republican territory the last 3 times, George Bush, the winner of the 3 electoral votes in the great state of South Dakota. So this now is how the electoral, this is how the map is shaping up as we color him.